All right, let's do it. It's after 3 o'clock here on Friday, the 3rd of June, and we're in the MLB barn. We're just late in getting these videos up. Last year we did them in the middle of the night, and we got more viewership because obviously you had more than 2 hours to watch the videos before the game started, so that would automatically lead to a few more viewers. But I just cannot do that right now. I'm just so far out of that sleep cycle. I don't have that kind of energy. So it's not happening. Yesterday we had 3 picks. We got like 4 picks for you today on Friday. 3 picks yesterday. We lost. One runaway loser, one runaway winner, and then we lost the could go either way game. So annoying, and it just seems like one step forward, one step back, and that's been what we've been doing all year long. 4 picks today. Couple things. Happy trails to Joe Girardi. The Phillies pulled the trigger. I didn't think they'd have the guts to do it, but you know, they have stupid money to throw around, and this guy's I guess he's on the 2nd year of a 3-year contract, and they haven't renewed him yet. So I guess they figured, we can pay this guy not to manage. He's not doing a very good job. My only concern is the guy they put in there to replace him is his bench coach. It's, is this a guy that has a totally different philosophy than Girardi has? The biggest knock on Girardi, other than he seems to be a hold their hand, that's okay, Kyle Schwarber, you're hitting under 200, but you're a nice guy, so we'll let it slide. Yeah, clearly a player's manager, not somebody that's going to kick these guys in the ass. Strategically, the biggest knock on this guy is he just believes in not playing his best players. He refuses to pitch guys out of the pen more than 2 days in a row, no matter how few pitches they've thrown. And this is the beauty of the Phillies organization. In other words, how dysfunctional it is. So Girardi is managing for the second half of the year. He's made that clear with everything he's ever said about his managerial philosophy. I am going to save my guys so they don't wear out, and we're ready to go in September and October. Well, apparently there's no communication between him and the front office, because the front office is saying, dude, you need to win some goddamn games now. Last I checked, a game 1 in May is worth the same as a game 1 in September. Well, maybe that communication didn't take place, and Girardi just crossed his arms and says, nope, this is the way I do it. This is the way I do it. Just like Philip Seymour Hoffman in Moneyball, which was a travesty of a movie because none of that shit's real. None of that crap actually happened. That's a Disneyized bastardization of history, but I digress. So Girardi just crossed his arms and said, I ain't doing it. I'm going to make sure that my best players only get 60 innings pitched this year. And, finally, we've lost enough games now that it just doesn't matter. And he's gone. So, good. And Phillies made a good decision, actually, finally. Like I said, though, his best friend, Rob Thompson, is now managing. So, is it going to change? Is anything going to change? I guess we'll find out. If suddenly we start playing some speedier dudes in the lineup, and Castellanos and Schwarber are starting to see some bench, then you might say, hey, maybe some things are going to change. Alec Boehm starts seeing some bench because he can't catch. Things are starting to change. Reese Hoskins starts seeing some bench because he can't catch. Now things are starting to change. We're starting to see the better players, the better pitchers get more innings. Hey, now things are starting to change. So this is what I'm looking for to determine whether or not the Phillies are still dead money. If the Phillies start extending their better players, starting to play better athletes, to start to kick these good hitters, bad fielders in the ass so they at least hit, then we might say the Phillies, perhaps we might consider playing them, or at least fading them less aggressively. That's kind of what we're looking for there with the new Phillies manager. Do you know that there are two guys, both in the National League, who right now have good hitting streaks going? And I just use the term most of you people, particularly under the age of 50, are like, a hitting streak, what is that? Well, that's what they call it when you get a hit in every game, each consecutive game. You get a hit, then tomorrow you get a hit. Then the day after that you get a hit. Then the day after that you get a hit. That's called a hitting streak. They used to be relatively common. And now in today's walk, strikeout, home run league, very uncommon. The last time we had a hitting streak in this country was 1978. That was Pete Rose. And I remember that, believe it or not. I was 10 years old. It was exciting. And we hated Pete Rose, but we couldn't help it. It was like, damn, this guy gets a hit every night. This is exciting. He only has 5 more games before he breaks the National League record. 4 more games, 3 more games. And then he did it. He broke the National League record. He ended up at 44 before it was snapped by Gene Garber, who acted like he won the goddamn World Series when he struck out Pete Rose to end his hitting streak. Gene Garber. What a prick. So you go, way to go, Gene Garber. You ended Pete Rose's hitting streak. You know what you get for that? Nothing. You're the most hated man in America, you jerk. But Goldschmidt from the Cardinals, Paul Goldschmidt, and Trey Turner from the Los Angeles Dodgers. So Trey Turner from the Los Angeles Dodgers, Paul Goldschmidt from the Cardinals. I think both numbers are now around 25. Just so you know, in case you haven't figured this one out for yourself. The all-time record, American League and National League, Joe DiMaggio at 56. Well, I would argue this is one of the most unbreakable records. In other words, now the unbreakable records are anything having to do with wins or complete games, because, of course, the game is played so completely different now than it was 100 years ago. Cy Young won 500-some games. That'll never happen again because of the way the game is now pitched. That we just baby these guys and they don't pitch as many innings. But hitting streak, same deal. I mean, guys just don't make the contact they used to 50, 100 years ago. They don't swing the same. Everybody has this huge helicopter swing trying to hit the ball over, not just over the fence, 100 feet over the fence. So naturally, your contact rates are way down, and you hardly ever have these hits. Plus, you have all the computer models and printouts and stuff. And, the printout says, hey, Paul Goldschmidt's coming up, and he's their best hitter. We'll just walk him. We'll just walk him. Strategically, mathematically, that makes sense. We'll just walk him. We have all these things that are factoring in to keeping people from having hitting streaks. So I'm telling you, having 2 guys right now having active streaks over 20, that's very, very improbable. So Pittsburgh Louie, baseball fan, when you're watching these games tonight, pay attention. This is exciting. Will Goldschmidt get a hit tonight? Will Trey Turner get a hit tonight? I'm telling you, nothing gets people excited like a hitting streak. And they have 2 of them? I mean, this could theoretically, and remember, you heard this here first, and this could last all about 18 hours till tomorrow when neither guy gets a hit. But this could be a replay of the 98, summer of 98 with McGuire and Sosa having the home run chase. This could be a replay of that starting pretty much around now. I'm calling the start of it. So I'm hoping both these guys go for another 2 weeks and keep their streaks going. And if I'm in here 2 weeks from now saying both guys have streaks now in the upper 30s, boy, you're going to know about it, because unless the sports media is so completely asleep at the switch, that's exciting. That's improbable. That's important. So we'll see what happens. I'm rooting for him. I have nothing against either guy. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm rooting for you. All right, let's get to the picks. We're going to call this the Twin Valley theory. I played on a high school team called Twin Valley, and we weren't very good. In fact, we were bad. We were bad. My junior year, we were pretty good because we had one good pitcher. My senior year, we were bad. But the teams we would beat were teams worse than us. And that is why we're playing the Reds tonight. When we would get hammered by Ole, by Why I'm Missing, but if we had Daniel Boone on the schedule, we could beat Daniel Boone because they were worse than we were. I don't know why that was, but here the Reds, they're favored tonight, and they're playing a team that's probably arguably worse than they are. So we're going to go ahead and say the Reds tonight. The return of Mike Minor. Sure, why not? I mean, he's a veteran. He's a professional. My guess is this. I don't know what his history is. I mean, he was probably a free agent pickup. He probably got a late start in spring training. Probably had some arm soreness or weakness or whatever. But judging by his minor league game scores, he's now ramped himself up where he's ready to go. So I'd expect a professional effort out of this guy tonight, that he's not going to go out there and give up 8 runs in 2 innings. He's going to give you a professional effort. Josiah Gray for the Nationals, he's been pretty crummy. And the Reds are starting to play better. Believe it or not, since they're awful, what was it, lost 21 out of the first 24 games? I'm doing the math in my head. Flamingo Kid, are you above 500 for like the last 2-3 weeks? I'd have to pause the video because my fingers don't run up that high, but I think they are close to, if not above 500, in some, hand-picked little window here in the last 2-3 weeks or so. So the Reds are not dead money anymore. And the Twin Valley Theorem says we're going to play them tonight. So we're taking the Reds. Now, the rest of these games, the model just broke. It said these games are so valuable that we're going to win these games so easily. I'm like, this is not this year, it seems. But okay, if you say so. This Giants game, the model was saying we had some crazy chance, we have no chance of losing this game at all, none. And I was like, okay, so should I bet more? I'm thinking I probably should bet less because we're probably due to lose then. But the model says the Giants are going to win so easily tonight. Okay, Alex Cobb is going to win so easily tonight. I'm trying to explain why. Well, look, you got Hernandez. I can't pronounce the kid's first name. Eliezer Hernandez. He's been bad. He's pitching for the Marlins. There's a cat. The Marlins have probably exhausted their good play. In other words, the Sandman, Sandy Alcantara, pitched last night, and so they got their big win. So now they'll have a letdown. The Giants, they're probably due for a win. They've probably saved up some of their best pitchers, so they're ready to go. They'll go tonight. In other words, Cobb will pitch a few innings, and then they'll fill in with their best relievers. You got good franchise versus bad franchise. We always love looking for that. Giants being good franchise, of course. So all these factors, yeah, Giants. We like them. The price seems a little hefty, but the Giants are definitely a better team than the Marlins, and they're going to, I think, well, they basically have an advantage, I think, in every phase of the game here tonight. So we'll take the Giants. Twins, huge value here, we're thinking. This game, we're going to probably wait till game time to play this. This, I think, should be upwards of 200, maybe higher. That number's just too high. I mean, that's too high. Chichi Gonzalez, who's he? You know, is that the guy that was the golfer? No, that was Chichi Rodriguez. This is Chichi Gonzalez. He's a former knockabout pitcher with the Rockies. So now he's getting a chance again. And he's another one of these guys that has been quietly building at AAA. And now he's ready to pitch. I think he's stretched out. His last couple outings down at AAA were okay. I think his numbers have probably been skewed by the fact that he's pitched half his career at Coors Field. I'm thinking you're going to get an honest effort out of this guy tonight. I'm hoping. I don't think you're going to see 1.2 innings, 8 runs, that type of deal. Here's a guy that's got a chance now tonight to change his life. He's 30 years old. He's getting another crack at the majors. And if he can throw a couple half-decent starts here in the next month or so, he could set himself up for a pretty nice payday. Not tens of millions of dollars, maybe, you know, a couple $1 million. I mean, right now this is a guy that's probably making, you know, what, a few $100,000, and he's got a chance to set himself up for a couple mil. That could be life-changing money. Well, it should be life-changing money unless you're freaking Allen Iverson or somebody. So this guy needs, for his family's sake, to pitch well tonight. So I think you're going to get an honest effort out of Chichi Rodriguez or Chichi Gonzalez. And lineup to lineup, the Twins lineup is, I think, just as good as the Blue Jays lineup. You know, I think Byron Buxton's just about ready to start hitting the ball. He's been futzing around here. He's had a leg injury, but he's been mostly in the lineup. He's got to be healing at some point. And he's a superstar when he's hitting the ball. So, you know, I think getting 2-1 against here, 2 plus 200, this is money here for the Twins. Money. So we like the Twins tonight. That's, I think, a no-brainer. We're going to take the Mariners, another one we think we got a great chance at. The Mariners are starting to play a little better now. You know, they had a nice series out there at home against the division-leading Astros. Took 2 out of 3. Then they went to a place they don't particularly play that well, and took 2 out of 3 again in Baltimore. So, yeah, I kind of think now that, you know, the Mariners are starting to, you know, perk up a little bit. The Rangers were going great guns until we had them midweek, and they couldn't get it done. They had a lead there Wednesday night. They should have finished the deal and put money in my pocket, but they didn't because maybe they're just not that good. And now I think that might have just spun them the other way a little bit. Now they're starting to get off the road. That loss that, you know, when you're in the 8th inning and you got a lead, you expect to win those games. Those are games you expect to win. You're out in the outfield, and you get a 1-run lead, and there's 5 outs to go, and you're thinking, all right, we got this. We got this. My killers on the mound with their 108-mile-an-hour fastballs. No one's going to hit them. We got this. It's deflating when you lose those games. So then they lost one of them, and then they went on to lose again. So I think they're just going to go on and lose again. And we're not laying that big of a price here. Logan Gilbert, budding ace for the Mariners on the mound. That's kind of Dane Dunning. He's just he's just one of those guys that goes out there and gives you an effort, but it's usually not good enough and they lose. So I would definitely think we have an advantage here with Logan Gilbert. So there, 4 games, some action tonight, and we're hoping to pull through. Political video, I want to make one, I just don't have time. We're just out of time. You know, we'll be, I don't know when we'll get time to make one. We'd like to make you another video here this weekend for baseball. Just have to see how it goes. I think there's more family stuff on the horizon here, grandkid coming into town. So feel like I'll be obligated to do stuff with him. Well, you know, don't know. All right, that's all we got. 4 picks. Let's go Reds. Let's go Reds. Well, let's go all these teams. How about a winning night? How about just a clear the board type night? That's what I'm looking for. Just a clear the board type night. And by that I mean I win all 4 baseball gods. That doesn't mean clear the board and I lose all 4. Clear the board in my parlance means win all 4. So let's do that. All right, very good. Eric Arnold signing off.